1 million people in Britain use food banks regularly, and we are the fourth richest country in the world. Is that necessary? Is it right? Of course it's not necessary, and of course it is not right. Inequality has got worse and worse. The 100 richest people in this country now own the equivalent of the wealth of 30% of the entire population. That is ghastly inequality on an industrial scale. And if these next round of cuts goes through, and I'm sure the government intends to put them through, then the situation is going to get worse and worse.
It does seem that the system has, certainly in the last 5 or 6 years, seemed to have been re-engineered to absorb the cuts by mass sanctioning. Definitely, I would say more so in the last 5 years or so under our current Tory government and their obsession with cuts, especially, as we all know, to the quote-unquote welfare cuts, if you will, as the rest of the media likes to call it. It does seem, you get the impression that this is how they're doing the cuts. It's cuts without appearing to make cuts, which sounds like a paradox, but if you think through what's actually going on under a sanction, basically, if you are sanctioned, you can sign on again, usually after that period, but you never see that money again. It's not backdated. So in effect, that is a cut to the welfare budget. For however many weeks or months they sanction you for, that is the period of time they are not paying you, therefore they are making cost savings. It's often for quite trivial reasons. It almost seems like a form of entrapment. They're setting you up to fail. You know, they kind of pile more and more appointments on you, and you're expected to remember them all on top of your usual routine. And this, bear in mind, is usually on top of your own job search activities, and it does seem to be deliberately designed to catch you out, so that they can sanction you. Well, they make it appear that you have a chance of evading it, even though it's quite usually clear that the way the system is set up, it's almost inevitable they're going to do it to you. It's almost like a sort of conveyor belt, if you will, of shunting people off the dole into poorly paid, low-skilled work. So yes, the idea is they set up these what appear to be open days at places like CTEC, where these local employers come along, and they make it appear that it's your choice. But sometimes what can happen is a few days later you'll get a letter in the post saying, congratulations, you've got a job with such and such, and you know they'll state the hours and the location. Please, can you attend on this induction day? However, in my own experience, this basically it turned out to be a lead up to a sanction, because what happened is we discussed convenient hours, attendance times and work times for me to go and work for them, and they stated in the letter. They came up with something entirely different, which wasn't convenient. when you follow this up in an email to say, well, hang on a minute, this isn't what we discussed at the interview. What's going on here? This isn't what we agreed to. Basically, what happened was the employer said, well, thanks but no thanks, because I dared to question that decision and say, well, look, this wasn't what we agreed to. And in this case, CTEC basically said, well, they tried to say I'd breached the Job Seekers Charter, as it was known, by refusing a job, when actually it was the employer that turned me down. Now, if you're seen to refuse a job, supposedly, this is a sanctionable offence. So yes, there was a certain amount of, shall we say, entrapment going on there. Oh, it makes you very angry. Yeah, I mean, if it's if it's supposed to be about coercing you into or make you feel scared of them, actually it doesn't. It makes you feel very angry, because you know full well what you've been doing to try and find work and presenting them with the evidence, usually in written form as requested by them, and despite your best efforts, they're still basically trying to stamp you into the ground with this sanction. It's an insult, actually. But we all know there are many people who end up in this situation who are vulnerable for various reasons. Maybe they've just got out of prison, they've got mental health issues or whatever, and a sanction for them is an utter disaster, because those people don't know how to cope with it, and actually it can wreck people's lives. And it's supposed to be, the clue is in the name, welfare state, i.e. it's supposed to be there for our welfare. It's not supposed to be there to wreck people's lives. It's supposed to be there to help you and protect you when you're having a bit of bad luck, shall we say. We all have those times in our life, and to punish people for signing on, which is pretty much how it feels at this end, is yes, it is. It's a scandal. It shouldn't be happening.